Here they have something called Color War, and Color War happens like the second or third week of camp. It's the first group, they have a couple of sessions, it's the first group of campers who really get to enjoy the idea of Color War, and it's always a theme, and it always is a very unusual kickoff. Whether it's something where they have a plane that flies over the camp and a skywriting plane that says Color War 2012 or Color War 2013 or 10 or whatever, or whether they do fireworks in the middle of their lake or whatever. They have clowns coming in from a circus, and each one is dressed in carrying a sign that says it's Color War, or whether the kids are woken up in the middle of the night by, over the loudspeaker that Color War has started. It's always something the kids do not know exactly where they are. And there's two teams. The camp colors are blue and gray, so you're either on the gray team or on the blue team.
Union and Confederates, huh?
Yeah, Union and Confederates. And then the counselors always wear a red shirt, or staff wears a red shirt throughout all of Color War. So this was 2010, and I have a few of these, and Color War always has a theme. So this year, that particular year, the theme was nerds versus jocks. And they always try to pick something because at the end of Color War, each team has to put on a play or some sort of, it could be a variety show. And that's very important because they have to take this theme that is on their shirts, and we have to make sure, and they have to do their activity, their play, that's done in a large hall that they have, and they have to do it in the theme. So this year, it was the nerds versus the jocks. And frankly, the navy shirts were nicer than the gray. The green popped more on the navy, but though we had certain constrictions that we had to stay within. So this is so all I ever tell my graphic artist is, the theme is the nerds versus the jocks, and I may show them, if it's not the artist who did it the year before, I may show them some shirts from previous years, and that's as far as it goes.
That's a lot of color.
And I got to tell you, we've never had to do it a second time. Never. There may be some minor changes that they may want, and this is about 800 or 900 shirts, and they're more than willing, because this is an important part of the summer for the campers, and more than willing to pay the price for whatever this comes to. And also understand something, these have to get shipped to the East Coast. This camp is in Pennsylvania. So why do they do it here in Nevada? Well, I started working with them years ago. I knew the owners of the camp. And at the very beginning, the cost of freight from the West Coast to the East Coast was about 4 cents a shirt. It now is about 30 or 40 cents a shirt. But what has happened on the East Coast is the cost of printing, because they can get it, not for any other reason, has gone up, and so it almost offsets the cost of printing the shirts on the East Coast. One of the things that I won't do is I will not give a shirt to a printer in another part of the country who I may or may not know, because I want to be there when they print the first shirt. I want to check every single one of the colors. I want to check the alignment. Now, I use a fabulous printer here. Even with that being said,
who is your printer?
I told you I use a company called Pearson Productions, and they're in Henderson, and they are probably one of the best here. They do a lot of work for Disney. I did explain that to you. I do want your class not to call them, though, however, because they're very, very busy. If a group of students wanted to see it, I would be more than happy to call the owner and ask him if he would let me bring a group of students down. I don't know what his reaction is, but he might be very flattered and say yes. So
I'd love to go.
Yeah, I can ask him. These are the nicest people you would want to meet, and they do a fabulous job printing. So I brought a couple of other shirts from Color War, and let's see what else I have there. I think I have this year's shirt. Oh, I don't have this year's shirt, but I have another one. This was 2006. God, I didn't realize it was so long ago. And this was the counselor shirt. And this one was caveman versus, what did we say? Oh, Stone Age versus Space Age. And this is the shirt that we did then. I didn't bring this year's shirt. This year's shirt for 2012 was winter versus summer. And one of the activities that the camp has is, it's a very unusual camp. And one of the activities that they have is skateboarding. And they have one of those big skateboarding U's that the kids can go in and learn how to do.
Gotcha.
all of the things that skateboarders do. And so it was a skateboarder and a snow fight. Snowball fight.
Okay.
So that was what was on the shirt, and it was very cartoony, and it was very nice, and it was in full color, and that would be, that was what they did this year. And there were a bunch of other shirts that I could have brought, but I didn't.
Well, at this point, we're probably getting the idea that you're just a t-shirt promoter.
Well, no, that we do a lot of other things. So
Is this your main?
No. At one time, apparel was our main thing, but over the last few years, because of the economy, apparel has gone down quite a bit, and the other items in promotional products would be the things that we would be primarily selling. So let me explain how it works with an everyday client here, a business in Las Vegas, and how that would work. We look at it from a marketing standpoint. So we go to see a client before we do anything. Yes, they may have already looked, and they may have a bunch of things that they're just chomping at the bit to get their logo on. We try to say to them, take a step back and let's look at this from the best bang for your buck. Because that's what companies want. They want to have an item that has a better perceived value than what they are willing to spend, and they want to make sure, or at least I explain to them, they need to make sure that the item is going to be kept. So how do we do this? We do this by becoming more or less real estate salesmen. And what we're selling them is the real estate on somebody's desk, in their car, or in their home. Those are basically the three best places to do that. Unless it's like a gift shop, if you were going to go like Ka or something like that, where they have a whole shop with their memorabilia. And occasionally we do get opportunities like that, but that's not the run of the mill as a rule. And so what we would do is we would, depending upon the purpose of the gift, if it's just a leave behind, depending upon the time of the year, we would pick something that works for that company, going to their niche market. So this is what's always very interesting. You ask these companies, who is your client? And a lot of companies will say, oh, anybody could be our client. Well, the second they say that, you know that they have absolutely no idea who their target market is. And today, niche marketing is really the best way to go. It's less expensive than print or other things. It's not that they might not be doing like postcards and things like that, because there will be some call for print, but it's less expensive than, let's say, a radio advertisement, a TV advertisement, a billboard, or anything else that may not get them what they want. So the first thing that we have to do is identify their target audience. Who is their target audience? So I'll give you an example. I work with, if you remember on my card, it said medical marketing.
Right.
Most of the medical marketing that we do is in the senior industry for assisted living facilities, skilled nursing facilities, and places like that. So when they say that any family that has an elder member of the family who needs to be taken out of their home and going into a safer environment, such as an assisted living facility, because we don't want to see mom or dad in the kitchen anymore because they could set the house on fire. That would be, the family would be the client most of the time. Occasionally it is the resident that moves into the facility, but usually it's the family. So what you need to understand is that people going into assisted living today are much older than they used to be, and the average age probably starts at 75 to 80, and then it goes up. People are staying in their own homes longer and living a full life longer. So their children are going to be anywhere between 50 and 65. And that is the market that you're looking at. So that's the market you have to play to. So, and in your advertising, in your mailings, and all of those things, you want to get the demographics of, let's say, a geographical area where those people are living, like Sun City, or any of these other 55 and older communities, because that's where they are. You might consider also more affluent zip codes if you're doing a postcard mailing, because these places are expensive. So you have to first figure out what's your budget and how are you going to do this. Now, if you're going to do a more affluent area and you're doing a postcard, the post office has a new product called Every Door Direct. And it is an odd-sized postcard. It can be up to a 9x12, but it can't be a 4x6 or any standard size postcard. And the cost of mailing generally is 16 cents for the mailing. You do have to have the correct indicia. So this would be done, you'd go to a company that just does mailings, and I do have a company that I work very closely with. And the way Every Door Direct goes is you would have to go to the area that you're going to or get a map, and you say, well, Sun City starts on 1st Street, it ends on Main, and then, I don't know, Brant Street is on the other side, and it probably goes through to 2nd Street or 3rd Street. So you would look up the parameters of the mailings on the Every Door Direct. Actually, you don't even have to do this, but they will do it. Either I would do it or the person that does my mailings would come back and say to me, there are 2,400 homes in that area. And that would give you an idea of how to do your mailing. Now, Every Door Direct has some limitations. They don't let you do the mailing all in one day. But that's okay, because you're not taking it to the post office, the person doing the mailings. So you would print up the 2,400 postcards. That would have to be, as I said, an unusual size. And we try to print them out. There's certain weights of paper that post office prefers that we use. And it gets delivered to Every Door directly. And there is no address on the postcard, so you have the full front and the full back except for the indicia.
They're just getting into canvassing now, aren't they?
It's fabulous. It's a brand new product. You can go on to the post office website, and there is a link to get into Every Door Direct. If you're really interested, you can call the post office in Washington, D.C., ask for somebody who is a salesperson for Every Door Direct, and they'll be more than happy to explain how it works.